genetic infantrymen, corrupt products of degenerate Souther science. The enemy claims they are the ultimate soldiers, genetically created to wage war on New Earth. But we know the truth. These freaks, these genetic abominations, bred for death, able to breathe the poison air, able to survive in the toxic hell the Southers have made of New Earth, are nothing more than brightly colored targets for our snipers. Yes, know your enemy. Yes, destroy your enemy. Show no fear and we will conquer all. Through strength, through will, through purity, Nordland will prevail.
Hello, I'm Lee Suss, and welcome to a rather grim vision of a possible future. Rogue Trooper. And also a little bit of my past as well. See, when I was a kid, my favourite comic was 2000 AD, and the most well-known creation of 2000 AD is obviously Judge Dredd, but many other great characters were created in the comic, including Slane the Barbarian, Strongnum Dog Johnny Alpha, and Rogue Trooper. Rogue Trooper was one of my favourites. It was created back in 1981 by Jerry Finley Day and Dave Gibbons, and it's a war story essentially. There's a planet called New Earth in which two factions are fighting a global war: the Norts versus the Southers. Now the once paradise planet of New Earth has been reduced to a wreck by liberal use of atomic, biological and chemical weapons. The atmosphere is so poisonous now that a single breath is almost certain to kill you, and the water is equally as bad, and every soldier has to go out wearing very thick chemical protective suits and breathing apparatus as well. Now the Norts, who you saw there in that bit of propaganda at the start there, they're a very neo-Nazi type faction, and the so-called good Southers are the ones we're more interested in, the ones that created Rogue Trooper. Also around this era, this is the Cold War period, it's the end of the Cold War around the 80s, and many comics, including Judge Dredd, had many aspects of this. So you almost certainly the Eastern Bloc are the bad guys, in this case the Norts, and the good guys of the West. Very American feel to it with the Southern troops. Now the Norts are pretty much they're ahead in the war, quite frankly, and the Southers need something a bit better to bring themselves back, give themselves a fighting chance here, and they specialise they're particularly good at genetics, so they try to create the super soldier, and they do a darn good job of it. The idea is that they're going to create a soldier that's the usual: better, faster, stronger, but also, most importantly, capable of going out into the polluted atmosphere of New Earth without protective gear and without breathing apparatus. And in fact, they've well exceeded on that. I mean, the genetic infantry they've created, the GIs, are immune to pretty much every toxin and viral agent ever created or ever discovered. And Rogue himself, the main character, has been known to be submerged in acid and even survive hard vacuum without ill effects. Beyond that, they also have an additional item. You probably caught a clip of it in the introduction video. They have a chip, the dog chip in the back of their heads. It's a silicon chip that encodes their personality. So even if the trooper is killed, if you're quick enough, you can remove the chip from the back of their head, store it in a powered slot in one of the standard pieces of GI equipment, and the personality and skills and experience of that trooper are preserved. And you get back to the headquarters, and you can install that chip into a new blank clone body, and the trooper is reborn with no loss of skills whatsoever. If that sounds familiar, I it's been something done again and again in many science fiction novels, but this is probably I think it's the first time I've ever seen it in a comic, or probably in any novel that I've seen as well. There's many things about Rogue Trooper that I never realised until now, but they certainly seem to me to be quite innovative in the science fiction area. I mean, even this excuse me, this some aspects of the series slightly predate the Space Marines from Games Workshop, but many things about the game, if you know anything about that universe, the Warhammer 40k universe, you'll recognise aspects as well, like the drop pods and various other things. And I think these guys came up with them first. There are clips of the comics included in the extra information with this game, and the authentic original comics back from '81 and around that period. Anyway, so the genetic infantry are ready to go. They are going to be a turning point in the war, almost certainly. And then in their first major action, their landing point is betrayed by a traitor general on the Souther command staff, and the GIs are wiped out almost to a man. Of course, there's one survivor, which is Rogue Trooper, and along with 3 of his biochipped best buddies, Helm, Gunner and Bagman, he defies direct orders and goes off to hunt down the traitor general and bring justice for his fallen colleagues. Hence he goes rogue, hence his name. Their names in the comics were something about how they behaved. So the 3 major pieces of equipment are the helmet, the backpack and the gun, and you'll be surprised to hear that Helm is in the helmet, Bagman is in the backpack, and Gunner is in the main gun. Now, essentially, Rogue Trooper was a war story, and this fit very well with the sort of things, the stories that Jerry Finley-Day and Dave Gibbons have been writing in the past as well. Particularly Jerry, I think he wrote for Battle and various other ones. So you get the usual things from the very popular war comics of the 70s. But the real strength of Rogue Trooper was the stories, very well done stories, and a lot of parody. They liked mild parody and mild political comments and various other things that you would get in many of the 2000 AD stories, including Judge Dredd. Often when reading Judge Dredd, you would see the blocks, the city blocks that everyone lived in had different names, and the signs that you'd find little references and Easter eggs in there. You might find that there's a block war going on between 2 blocks, and it just happens to be that those 2 blocks are named after 2 soap stars of the current period who happen to be fighting online in Emmerdale or EastEnders or whatever program it was from. Little things like that, and there is aspects of that in Rogue Trooper. You'll find that names of the locations and the battles are twisted in various ways. You'll get names of characters have reference back. There was a Robespierre I seem to remember in there at some point as well, with little twists and a bit of mild satire. So it was a great comic, and for a 9-year-old me, it was absolutely ideal. I loved it. I loved Rogue Trooper a great deal, and I was interested when I heard that they'd made a computer game of it. I think it's 2006 this is created, around about there. Sorry if I'm off a couple of these dates. I do try to look them up beforehand, but I'm just working off memory here. And I wasn't too concerned about it. I think in the past I might have been a little upset if someone had made a version of a game version of something that I was very fond of, and like an old comic or a story, and I didn't like what they'd done to it. But I'm a bit more relaxed these days, so I was open to suggestions about how good this might be. And I haven't played a bit. It's pretty honest in a lot of ways to the original Rogue Trooper. They obviously give it a twist. There's a few things here and there I don't like, but overall I enjoyed it. It's a good, simple game. Not the prettiest in the world, not the best controls in the world, but that's all fine. It's all good. So I thought, let's make a YouTube video of it. Let's play through it again. I haven't got all the way through it yet, but let's play through it again from the start with a fresh profile, and you can enjoy it along with me too. There we go. We can talk about more about what the more aspects of the Rogue Trooper universe and everything else when we get into the game. But that's it for now. That's my usual babbling, wandering, meandering intros that I do. I try to do for games that I'm starting to let's play. But I hope that gives you a little idea, and you enjoyed staring at these little floating babies. These little floating bubbies. By the way, they've all got blue skin. By the way, Rogue Trooper has blue skin, and all the GIs had blue skin. Who knows why? Because it looks good. I don't know. There was, I'm sure there was a good reason in the character mind. Doesn't sound like the best sort of camouflage, does it really? To be hiding. Anyway, babbling again. Don't mind me. I'll see you hopefully next video, and we'll actually get some gameplay done instead. See you later.